Hello, I'm Harry Martin with Chris Wagner for Action News. A grinding car-truck crash on the Blue Route leaves at least one person dead and brings the morning rush hour to a crawl. Dwayne Jackson is live at the Civic Center, where hundreds of tax-delinquent properties are changing hands.
The New Jersey State Police issued their report on a recruit who died after training. And it's season's greetings in New York from some people who have a way with hot air. Those stories and more, plus the exclusive Accu-Weather forecast, next on Action News at noon.
For a limited time only, all Living Well Lady Clubs in Jersey and New York are offering the perfect 10. Just call 1-800-LIVE-WELL and you'll get 10 visits for $10.
I live for Saturday nights. Let's go dancing.
What about a movie?
Movie? Well, at least I know what shoes to wear. These great little flats from Payless.
Bowling's always fun.
Bowling? Well, I can wear them anywhere, and since it's Payless, they cost practically nothing.
What do you say we stay in and order a pizza?
I'd say, get a good lawyer.
Dancing.
Good idea.
Save on women's textured dress flats right now at Payless. The latest styles are on sale for just $9.99. Payless ShoeSource. You could pay more, but why?
Shop Rite has the low, low prices. You can save throughout the store.
Low-salt shank portion smoked hams are 99 cents a pound. All no-nonsense pantyhose is on sale for 30% off. And Fuji 110 or 135 24 exposure or single-pack disc film is just $2.25. Shop Rite does it right.
We save you money. Shop Rite does it right.
The changes in mothers and daughters sex discussions tomorrow.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Harry Martin, Robin Garrison, and Chris Wagner.
Good afternoon. Robin's off today. In the news, an entire tanker crew is missing in the deadliest strike yet in the Persian Gulf.
The West tries to dig out from a snowy punch by Mother Nature, and it may not be rain or snow, but a shortage of cash that will stop America's postal workers.
But the big story on Action News this noon is a deadly accident on the Blue Route in Montgomery County. At least one person was killed this morning when a car collided head-on with the truck hauling paint in Plymouth Township. Both vehicles burst into flames. The truck driver was pulled from the burning wreckage and is listed in critical condition at Hahnemann University Hospital. At least one person in the vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are not yet releasing the names of the victims. Rush hour traffic on the Blue Route was backed up for miles as the road was closed. Officials say it's now open in the southbound direction only.
At the Civic Center this noon, the city of Philadelphia is continuing to sell off hundreds of tax-delinquent properties. The sale had been embroiled in controversy, but that has all been resolved now. Action News reporter Dwayne Jackson is now live with word on the sheriff's sale.
Well, Harry, most of the people you can see behind me here came here with money. This is one sale they plan to take advantage of because they can buy some city properties here for as little as 25% of the market value. And while they're helping themselves to bargains here, they're also really helping the city. The gavel sounded, marking the start of the city sheriff's sale. About 1,500 people filled seats at the Civic Center, hoping to get good buys on 370 properties. Properties that are being sold so the city can recoup its share of money from long overdue real estate taxes. The list of properties for sale dropped from 1,500 to 370 in the last week as hundreds of delinquent taxpayers made pay arrangements with the Revenue Commission. Now it's too late for delinquent taxpayers to save their properties.
Sold $10,000.
So far, the auction has raised over $240,000 from the sale of just over 30 properties. Now, with me is Revenue Commissioner Christine Murphy, and basically, where does that money go?
It goes to the city, to the school district. We're going to take some money to pay for all the costs of today's sale and pay off water delinquencies if there are any of those.
I know this is long-awaited sale.
That's right. We started just after amnesty. People who didn't take advantage of amnesty went into a pool of names, and they've moved forward to the point where we can finally sell the property.
Okay, thank you very much. That is Revenue Commissioner Christine Murphy. Now, this auction has gone on all morning. It will be going on probably for a little while longer. The city has waited 4 years for most of these back taxes, so a few more hours probably won't hurt. I'm Dwayne Jackson, live on the Action Cam at the Civic Center.
Okay, Dwayne, thank you. A New Jersey couple will be arraigned in federal court in Trenton this afternoon on charges that they kidnapped the 13-month-old son they had given up at birth for adoption. Brian Smith was taken from a babysitter in his California home at gunpoint on Friday night. On Sunday, FBI agents arrested his natural parents, 42-year-old Bonnie Kiefer and her 41-year-old husband Francis, at their Moorestown, New Jersey home. The Kiefers gave Brian up for adoption at birth, then changed their minds, but they lost a legal attempt to get him back. Today they're in custody for allegedly trying to steal him back. The complicated custody trial of 5-year-old Rachel Rouser is getting underway behind closed doors today in Bridgeton, New Jersey. Rachel's father was arrested for allegedly trying to sell his little girl for $100,000. A lot of people want Rachel and are trying to get the court to award them custody. Rachel's mother is dead, but her stepmother, now separated from Rachel's father, wants her, as do her maternal grandparents and her aunt and uncle. The custody trial is expected to take about 2 weeks. A 22-year-old Germantown woman may now face murder charges in the apparent child abuse death of her 15-month-old daughter. An autopsy is being done today on Tiara White, who died yesterday afternoon. Authorities believe that she was a victim of shaken baby syndrome. According to police, the child was hung by her legs and shaken for 15 minutes because Deanna Harrison was angry with her husband. Harrison was arrested last Friday and charged with assault. After the autopsy, police will determine whether that charge will be changed to murder.
Well, the New Jersey State Medical Examiner today says that a police recruit who died after suffering injuries during training at the State Police Academy died from trauma to the brain caused by boxing. But the Chief Medical Examiner says that the blows to the head that ultimately killed 25-year-old Patricia Quinn could have been light to moderate. The official medical examiner's report says that Quinn did not die from a severe beating, and her physical condition at the time of the incident may have contributed to her death. Quinn lapsed into a coma after sparring at the State Police Training Academy in Seagirt in October and died in early November. State police officials, meanwhile, say that they have no plans to discontinue their boxing training program. The New Jersey State Senate votes today on legislation which would prohibit doctors from withholding food from an incompetent patient or a patient who cannot make decisions for themselves. The bill would circumvent some of the state's right-to-die rulings. Now, under the bill, which is now under consideration, food or water could not be withheld from any patient if death would result from starvation or dehydration. A similar bill has already received the okay from the State Assembly.
The U.S. Supreme Court today struck down an Illinois law that places restrictions on minors seeking abortions. The court was evenly divided in its decision against the law, which required parental permission and a waiting period for minors. The ruling sets no national precedent. However, it does demonstrate the importance of Judge Anthony Kennedy's potential nomination to the court. His vote could decide a number of crucial issues. And the Senate Judiciary Committee this morning opened its hearings on the nomination of Anthony Kennedy to the U.S. Supreme Court. The 51-year-old California judge listened as committee members read their opening statements. Kennedy, President Reagan's third choice to fill the vacancy left by the retirement of Justice Lewis Powell, is expected to win confirmation. But Committee Chairman Joe Biden of Delaware told Kennedy he'd face tough questions.
In discussing these areas, I expect most of my colleagues will not ask you to predict what your vote will be or to say how you would decide a specific case in the future. I want instead to understand the approach you would use, the general criteria you would bring to constitutional claims on these issues, a discussion that is critical if the committee is to perform its constitutional role properly.
Kennedy will begin his testimony later on this afternoon, and he's expected to spend 4 days before the committee. President Reagan's first choice, Robert Bork, was rejected by the committee. His second choice, Douglas Ginsburg, withdrew his nomination after admitting past marijuana use. Judge Kennedy will hear from his critics as well. Both the National Organization for Women and a liberal legal rights group have announced their opposition to his nomination.
2 men are in custody this afternoon in Upper Moreland Township in Montgomery County, and they are expected to be charged with robbery. Police say the 2 men robbed Marshall's department store, but they are not saying how much money that the 2 men tried to get away with. At this hour, police are interviewing witnesses. They are hoping to piece a case together. So far, police are not releasing any names or details about this attempted heist. A big boost this noon for Philadelphia employment picture. The Cigna Corporation has decided to stay in Philadelphia. The board of the insurance giant is meeting at this hour in Center City to finalize the decision. Cigna announced in August that it has wanted to move its headquarters and also the 4,400 jobs that go with it. Well, that touched off a battle between the city and the suburbs. The Word is that the city won out, with Cigna consolidating its employees from 15 Center City locations to the proposed 2 Liberty Place.
And there's much more ahead on Action News this noon. Marvin Gardens and Park Place are about to come to the TV screen, and you can play along. The Flyers play another round of their favorite victory song.
And the boss drops in to play a few tunes to help New York's homeless. These stories, the Greengrocer, and the exclusive Accu-Weather forecast when Action News comes right back.
When you've got a new puppy, you go to the veterinarian for advice. And when Alpo set out to make their puppy food, they went there too. They asked veterinarians what they wanted in a puppy food. And the result is Alpo puppy food. With the high-quality protein and easy digestibility veterinarians told us puppies need. And the taste puppies love. Alpo puppy food in bags and cans. Veterinarians helped Alpo make it, and puppies approved.
Smile. We got it. Smile. It's all right here. We got it. Value so great for your way of giving. We want to make your dreams come true. You'll get a great buy at Bradlees today. Smile, smile, smile.
Better get hopping to get to the big sale going on at Lionel Kiddie City.
It's Lionel Kiddie City's Let's Get Hopping sale now through Wednesday. Save big on dolls, electronic talking dolls, race and train sets, bikes and scooters, board games, action figures and vehicles, video systems and games, and more. So hop on down to the Let's Get Hopping sale now through Wednesday.
Lionel Kiddie City, turn it round, upside down.
Throughout broadcasting history, man has discovered that some things naturally go together. Sherlock Holmes and Watson, Spanky and Alfalfa. Now, there's a game show combination that's made the record books, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Because they're exciting and because they're fun, they're making game show history together.
Very effective, my dear Watson. Elementary, my dear Holmes.
Here it comes.
Back-to-back fun, weeknights 7 and 7:30.
Some wicked weather out west over the weekend as a major storm system rumbled through the southern plains states. More than 16 inches of snow piled up in Denver, Colorado, and caused a 70-car accident. 7,000 people were left without power in parts of New Mexico. In Los Angeles, orange trees couldn't take the 80-mile-an-hour winds, and small planes were tossed around at Los Angeles area airports. The big question, of course, will the storm hit us? We will have complete details in the 5-day Accu-Weather forecast.
There is some new weight this noon to the arguments on why you should buckle up. A research team from the University of North Carolina says seatbelt laws have already saved 1,300 lives across the United States. And the researchers say tougher enforcement could save another 500 lives. In studying 24 of 31 states with seatbelt laws, they found that 6.6% fewer fatalities occurred and that there was a 10% reduction in serious injuries to front seat passengers. The biggest reductions came in states where police enforced that law the most.
This afternoon, about 200 residents are still out of their homes near Round Rock, Texas, because of 3 derailed tank cars which are carrying propane gas. 20 cars broke away from a Union Pacific train on Saturday near Round Rock, which is 15 miles north of Austin, Texas. 3 of the cars caught fire and at least one of the cars exploded. There is no word yet on what caused the cars to break away from the train. This afternoon, all the firefighters can do is just allow the cars and the fires to burn themselves out. Soldiers are on alert and police are out in force today in South Korea. The country is approaching its first free elections in 16 years.
With only 2 days to go before the election, the disunity of the opposition continues to be a major factor in this campaign. The 2 leading opposition candidates, Kim Young-sam and Kim Dae-jung, are still drawing large partisan crowds, including rallies today, each claiming to be the front runner. But in fact, they remain locked in a tight 3-way race with ruling party candidate No Tae-woo, a race too close to call. This morning, Kim Young-sam, for the first time publicly, called on his opposition rival to drop out to ensure opposition victory. Kim claims independent polls show him in the lead. Another minor candidate did withdraw today for the sake of opposition unity, he said. But Kim Dae-jung seems more determined than ever to remain in the race, especially with more than 1 million supporters turning out in his massive campaign rally over the weekend. It's been 16 years since South Koreans last voted directly for president, and no one can predict what they'll do in the privacy of a voting booth on Wednesday, or what the government will do if it doesn't like their verdict. Mark Litke, ABC News, Seoul.
All 27 crew members aboard an Iranian tanker are missing and presumed dead. That following an attack on the ship by Iraq in the Persian Gulf late last week. Now that's all according to the Norwegian Foreign Ministry, which said that the captain of the ship and the company that operated the ship for Iran were both Norwegian. The ship was hit Thursday about 75 miles out of Iran.
Well, OPEC is trying to avoid a last-minute hitch in an oil price and oil production accord, which would be good news for consumers, but bad news for the oil cartel. Now, the agreement would mean a $2 a barrel drop in free market oil prices and a 5-cent a gallon drop at the pumps. The final agreement seems to be stalled over confusion among the delegates about a tentative deal. Some of the oil ministers say that an agreement could come today, but they would not say if that deal would include the lower price.
Well, it's been a busy morning on Wall Street, and it looks as though there's a rally in the making. Right now, the Dow is up more than 35 points to 1902.35. Analysts say they aren't quite sure what's responsible for the buying trend, especially given last week's bigger-than-expected trade deficit report.
America's mail service could face a severe jolt if a Senate budget-cutting proposal becomes law. The cuts could include a reduction in postal hours and no Saturday delivery. There's a news conference scheduled for today on this Senate plan. Postmaster General Preston Tisch will talk about the impact of shifting nearly $2 billion in costs from the federal budget to the post office itself. The plan by the Senate could also cut some major construction projects which are planned by the post office.
The people who've made Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune big game show hits have another trick up their sleeves now. It's a TV version of Monopoly. King World is working with Parker Brothers, which owns the rights to Monopoly, to come up with a version of Monopoly that's exactly like the board game and also good television. No word yet on whether the show will be taped in Atlantic City. However, it is supposed to be ready for broadcast next fall.
When you're driving and have a cold, there's one warning sign you don't want to miss. That's why there's Ornex. Ornex relieves cold symptoms without making you drowsy. Ornex, the one for the road.
Thriftway knows what you want.
Enjoy the taste of Christmas with a cooked semi-boneless whole fully cooked ham for your holiday dinner. Just $1.19 a pound. Your favorite Green Giant vegetables are on sale at 5 cans for only $2. And make holiday entertaining easier with delicious party platters from Thriftway's deli department. Order yours today. And happy holidays from Thriftway.
Hello, my name is Dr. Dennis Brooks, and for 20 years my medical specialty has been exclusively the treatment of cataracts. During that time, I have performed over 25,000 operations. So now, in just one visit, you can be examined, have a pleasant 15-minute removal of the cataract, and be back home in just a few hours. And the cost is usually covered by whatever type of insurance you may have. Thank you.
Call Dr. Dennis Brooks.
Sir, there is too much food in this On-Cor frozen entree. Too much?
Too much On-Cor?
Yes, we couldn't possibly eat all of those heaping helpings of lasagna and veal parmesan.
Can't possibly. But On-Cor is a 2-pound family-size entree.
We haven't got a family. No family.
Well, why not share your On-Cor with some deserving family?
Whose?
Mine, and we'll be over at 5:30.
Excuse me, about these large On-Cor servings.
Be over tomorrow night, ma'am, 6:30.
When you want more, it's On-Cor.
Checking sports this noon, the once down-and-out Flyers are up and coming again. They're now tied for third place in the Patrick Division thanks to a 4-3 win last night over Winnipeg. The win extends the Flyers' unbeaten streak to 8 games. Peter Zezel continued to be a hot shooter for the Flyers, tipping one into the goal in the first to get the team on the board. The success spread to rookie Kerry Huffman, who picked up his first NHL goal. Just 2 weeks ago, the Flyers could not score on the power play advantage, but last night Murray Craven did it 2 men short to ice the win. Drexel University's basketball team is also flying high this noon after their first victory over St. Joe's in 9 years. The Dragons upset the Hawks last night, 81-64 at the Palestra. Michael Anderson continued his reign as the highest scorer in Drexel history. He poured in 25 points. The Hawks admitted that they were drained after Saturday night's last-second win over Villanova.
Well, the Eagles are on the other end of the pendulum swing. They fell victim to the Miami Dolphins 28-10 at the Vet yesterday, wiping out any chance of a winning season for the Birds. The Eagles kept it close till halftime, but Miami quarterback Dan Marino came out firing in the second half. He quickly notched 2 more touchdowns on an impressive day. The Eagles' only touchdown came when Randall Cunningham connected for a 44-yard pass with Mike Quick. The Birds play the New York Jets next Sunday. Our greengrocer Joe Carcione says that one of the laws of physics does apply at the produce counter. Basically, what goes up must come down in price. Well, today, Joe has the word on 2 items finally getting back into the reasonable range.
I know that many of you folks are concerned with the high price of lettuce. Well, folks, I'm very, very happy to tell you that iceberg lettuce has dropped a little bit, about 20%. But I'll tell you something, folks, not quite enough so that the prices are reflected substantially at the retail level. However, I want to tell you, there are a lot of small-size heads of lettuce coming to market that are selling at very, very reasonable prices. And so maybe you might want to take advantage of the small-size heads of lettuce at bargain prices. Now, when it comes to the leaf lettuce, especially the romaine, that's very, very expensive. Then there's the green leaf and the red. That's also expensive. You're thinking about a leaf lettuce, for goodness sakes, buy the butter lettuce. That's the most reasonable of all the leaf lettuce. Now, you remember, folks, last week I told you, lay off of the blueberries because they were very, very expensive. You know, they could be $6, $7, or $8, or $9 for a little tray. However, folks, the price has dropped in half, and you might be able to walk into a market and buy blueberries maybe for $3, $4, or $5 a tray, and that's really not too bad. But I want to tell you one thing. If you're used to the New Jersey blueberries, I'll tell you one thing, folks. They weigh about 16 ounces to the basket. These here only weigh 8 ounces to the basket. So even at $3, $4, or $5, they're still very expensive. This is Joe Carcione, your greengrocer, with your tip for the day.
Woolworth knows Christmas is almost here and wants to help you be ready. Don't forget the poinsettias, beautiful blooming plants for our festive home or give us gifts. They're $4.99. What about candy? Treat your guests to these all-time favorite chocolates, novelty foil wrapped, or these from Mon Chéri. They're so delicious. Your choice, $1.59 each. Last-minute cards? These special ones from Buzza Gibson express holiday wishes in just the right way. Holiday greetings from Woolworth.
The guys here say we're hooked on the soaps. We could care less. We only watch to see what they're wearing. Then we go right over to Payless, because we can get all those fashionable shoes, only at Payless we don't have to pay those fashionable prices. Hooked! That's ridiculous.
Well, guess I can change the channel then, huh?
Touch it and die, Steve.
Right now, save on women's party shoes. All the latest styles and holiday looks, just $12.99 or 2 for $25. Payless ShoeSource. You could pay more, but why?
We didn't have any bicycles or cars.
A time without.
Everything that we had was secondhand.
A lifetime spent. A future well-earned. Edith Gunther wasn't about to let a cataract cloud the rest of her life.
When the doctor told me there was no cost, I felt like it was time to do it.
No-cost cataract removal. You've earned it.
For more information, call the Cataract Institute of Pennsylvania at 564-1111.
Shop Rite has the low, low prices. You can save throughout the store.
You'll find low prices on low-salt shank portion smoked hams, just 99 cents a pound. Medium shrimp are $3.99 a pound. And Nabisco Oreo or double-stuffed Oreo cookies, $1.79. Shop Rite does it right.
We save you money. Shop Rite does it right.
On our People Scene today, the chairman of the board who's playing Santa Claus. Frank Sinatra is sending a check to a Miami woman whose Christmas gifts were stolen from underneath her tree. A burglar broke into Amelia Coleman's home and stole 4 pairs of roller skates, a paint set, and other toys for her 4 sons. Sinatra read about the thefts in a newspaper and decided that he didn't want those kids to have a bad Christmas. Rock superstar Bruce Springsteen surprised a New York City gathering of music fans when he appeared in the finale of an all-star concert last night. The show was organized by singer-songwriter Paul Simon to raise money for the city's homeless children. Springsteen appeared with superstars Billy Joel, Simon, and others for the finale, to the utter delight of the crowd.
I bet. Well, you're going to be delighted with today's AccuWeather forecast, at least until about 5 o'clock. It looks like we're going to have some clouds for most of the day, and some sleet and some nasty stuff are on the way very late tonight. Here's the way it looked this morning. Plenty of blue sky here, nothing too much to complain about. We can show you that we got down to a low of around 31 degrees last night. Actually, it's 31 degrees. Right now, it's 45 at Philadelphia International Airport. Relative humidity, 45%. Barometer is rising at 30. And the winds are out of the northwest at 12 miles per hour. Here comes the 5-day AccuWeather forecast. For the rest of this afternoon, you're going to see some clouds. 46 will be our high temperature. Around rush hour, more clouds, 40 for 5 o'clock. Then tonight, it'll still be cloudy, but then we'll have rain, sleet, or snow starting between 3 and 6 o'clock in the morning. Lows will be between 32 and 35 degrees. The AM rush hour is going to probably be a mess tomorrow, especially north of the city. Tomorrow is going to be occasionally rainy, some snow, some sleet early. Then it's going to be cloudy, windy, and raw. Just about everything tomorrow. Anything you don't want is tomorrow. Lots of fog late also, says AccuWeather. Then on Wednesday, a windy day, mixture of clouds and sunshine. 48 degrees will be our high. On Thursday, windy and chilly, partly sunny, 40 degrees. On Friday, you'll see the sun once again, followed by some clouds and chilly temperatures, 40 degrees for a high. Then on Saturday, it's going to be cloudy once again.